Good afternoon. It's afternoon. It's afternoon. Hey, we got a special report. It's a smudge day. Smudge day. Got the sage going on. Been doing sage lavender sage smudges. I guess if you get the right person waving that around and ooby dooby, it's a love potion or something. I don't know. I just know it smells really good when I burn it. So, but we're making those today. Hey, this is a special report, and I'm going to specifically address some information that was sent to me yesterday from the groups in Facebook. Yesterday, I addressed Fannie Mae and their guidelines and made a correlation. Is Fannie Mae responsible for the employee situation? That would make HUD, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, etc., down the line, all liable for this issue. Let's think about something for a minute. Fannie Mae sets a bunch of guidelines, tells what has to be done, what you can do for X amount of money, blah, 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 blah. They pass that on to the next guy, Company A. Okay, Company A takes it to Company B. Company B takes it to Company C. All those people in the middle of you are putting guidelines down. Conversation over in let me see here. Some of this stuff just cracked me up. We really need a union, and of course, Rich Rue, long time industry veteran. Jesse Randall, also a long-time industry veteran. They have a little different take on what happened going on here, but the unions, while I think they had a little bit of a play in what was going on, and this is, to me, if I'm making $35 an hour and I have complete medical coverage, I have all the benefits, I have all the retirement packages, I have all this other fringe benefits going on that take my salary to $70, $80 an hour, I can probably afford to go back to $20 an hour instead of that 35. Think about that. And that's where people messed up. That's where people messed up. Let me see here. Maybe the use of a union is the wrong word. This is by Shannon Chestnut, and here's the thing. Until labor comes together and quits trying to do this one-upmanship and I'm better than you and you're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about, until labor actually comes together and support each other, we're going to have an issue in the industry because management will play us off each other. And when you get industry shills, and I will get to them in a minute, let me get into the next. This is my deal. Pauline Mills said something, and this kind of stood out. I'm from a socialist country where mostly everything is run by unions. There's an upside and a downside. However, it is up to the people who they choose as their representatives. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the GMO issue, whom do your elected officials represent? Always remember that. That is 100% correct. We choose, here in the United States, we choose who represents us, whether it be a union representative or an elected official. She goes on. To elect their representatives and shop stewards. If you choose a representative that is pro-management, then there's your downside. The people make the union what it is or what it should be. She's 100% correct there. Is a union the right thing for the property preservation industry? I don't know. Unions, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're really aware of everything the 40-hour work week, overtime, minimum wage, child labor laws, OSHA, safety laws, all of that was because of unions. Workman's compensation, if you get hurt on the job, unemployment insurance, all of those issues were a direct result of unions. So the unions have a lot of good. They've done a lot of good. Maybe they just outlived themselves in the auto industry, or maybe people like the guy that's buried in the end zone at Giant Stadium messed them up. I don't know. That's not for me to say. Usually, and this is Rob Mirza, and I got a bone to pick with you, Rob. Usually when you don't like your job, you go find another. This is a business ownership, independent contractor industry. Unions don't represent companies or owners. That is incorrect, Rob. The courts, the federal courts have ruled by law, and this is my bone with Eric Miller, Brian Mingham, Tony Newman. None of you are stepping forward and saying a word. A third case has come in. It's not some crazy California thing. This is a federal court ruling. Buck Zek was the first violator of that is a member of NAMFS. FAS is the second violator, a member of NAMFS, a third NAMFS member, AMS. All have been found guilty of employee status. By law, they're employees. That's what the courts have ruled. So, Rob, when you say this, that is industry propaganda. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. It's industry propaganda. You are not an independent contractor if you are working solely within the property preservation industry. I'm sorry. One of the things I pointed out yesterday, you get a 72-hour timeline to do everything. Fannie Mae issues a work order. It goes to somebody else. There's a day to get to you or to get to the next person. Another day to get to the next person, 3 days to get to you. So everybody gets the work back in like 7, 8, 9 days. Don't think they didn't know this when Fannie Mae gave them 14 days. This is why I have long said for a very, very, very long time, the work needs to come home. These mortgages, why is a mortgage for a house in Reno, Nevada being held in Kentucky, for example? No reason at all. That mortgage should be there. So when the person that has a problem, he can go in and the banker says, "Hey, Jim, how you doing today?" "Well, you know, Fred, it's kind of bad. I got a problem. Can we talk?" They know each other. There's a relationship there. And this is what I'm saying. The HUD office, they need to be in Reno. They need to be calling Reno contractors and saying, "Hey, can you do this work for us?" That's how this needs to be done. Not give somebody a contract in Pennsylvania to do the work in the state of Washington. They can't do it. Let's get real. They cannot do it. But you're either a business owner or an employee. Which one is it? That was the question Rob asked. Rob, it's employee. That's what it is. And until everybody lets the nuts fall in the sack and stand up, so to speak, get some guts, whatever, and say, "Hey, look, we're pushing back on this. You can't do this." If you did a background check on yourself, Rob, to work with these people, you're an employee. Simple as that. Businesses don't get a background check. Employees do. Wells Fargo has stipulated they never ordered this. They backed out. They got arms away from it. But no, everybody jumped on the bandwagon and said, oh my God, I'm going to lose my work. I'm going to lose my work. Well, the courts have ruled there are no independent contractors in property preservation, that you are in fact an employee. And they base that on 21 points of control. My clients will call me, "Aaron, when can you get this on the schedule? When can you get me?" Not, "I need this tomorrow." If they need something right away, they go, "Hey, we're kind of in a spot. Can you help us?" That is how we are approached. Not curt email with the work order saying, "Go do this now." Just talking out loud, folks. The courts have ruled. The courts have ruled by law, you're an employee. Employees join unions, not business owners. If business owners in an industry get together and discuss pricing or pressuring their suppliers to do things, they are in danger of being charged with breaking the Sherman Act. You can't do it. Michael Huggins said that. Michael Huggins is 100% correct. And I want everybody to stop and think for just a minute. Who sets pricing? Not us. You don't. And that is why you're an employee, Rob. You don't get to bill for your services based on your cost. You're told what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, with what tools you're going to do it with, and oh, by the way, how much you're going to be paid. That is called control. That is an employee scenario. Dress the duck, put as much lipstick on it as you want. At the end of the day, it's quacking. And it quacks just the same as the one out in the yard. I'm sorry, but that is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. The reality. I got something else that came in. We might have a fraud alert going on here. Let me see what this is about. I just got this in a little bit ago. This is out of the... this is Melissa Anderson asking a question in the Property Preservation Company Information Exchange group. I just saw a request from Ron Herbruck to join the group. FYI, he owes me and a lot of other people money he never paid for. Melissa, get a hold of us. We'll run this guy down and find something out. I've already started an investigation on this guy to see who it is. The name rings a bell. But if you guys have issues, get a hold of us and we'll get a file on this guy and see what's going on. I'm not sure. Keller Herbruck Enterprises, studied businessman at Daytona, so he's probably out of Iowa somewhere. Let's see here. Here's someone says, this industry is crazy. I'm sorry, it is one of the reasons we moved on. We work for 2 national firms that always pay. If you moved on, why are you a member? I think he knows who I'm talking about. If you moved on, why are you a member? You never got back to me on that. Here's somebody said he always paid. We only work for nationals now. Here's the thing about who you work for, folks. There has to be a trust between the two entities, and there has to be a mutuality of agreement. If you cannot get on the phone and talk to your client and say, hey, look, I got to get this much money for this. I'm sorry. I got to do it. You're kind of hosed. It's just the same thing with trip fees, trip charges. Develop policies. Develop policies for your company and be a company. If you need assistance, ladies and gentlemen, if you need assistance developing some policies for your company, I'll help. I do it all the time. I've written manuals for company manuals, employee manuals for people. Ask Jerry Hahn. It's something I can do. I can help you with. And you can set, and just for the record, I can't say that. I can't say it. You're a business, ladies and gentlemen. You're a business. You're entitled to have company policies. Everybody does. Think about the most basic policy in the world for business owners. It's a check cashing policy. Everybody has a check cashing policy. Why can't you? You're in property preservation, so you can't have a policy? Kind of screwy, isn't it? That's kind of screwy, isn't it? But, oh, here's that other comment on the union thing again. Okay. But one of the things that I see going on is labor allows this to happen instead of sticking together and standing up. Again, I'm not endorsing the International Association of Field Service Technicians, but they are an organization that is addressing the labor issue and bringing labor into the fold. And maybe you should look at this organization as a trade association to be affiliated with instead of what's going on. NAMFS is doubling down, folks. I'm telling you right now, it's going to get messy, especially when more and more states start getting on board. And you can bet, Buckzak, New York, New Jersey, how many state lines did they cross to get to California? Rico. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going to happen. All these companies, Guardian Asset Management, they don't want to answer questions. VRM doesn't want to answer questions about the VA investigation. Why not? They don't even want to do a simple interview on employee independent contractors. They don't even want to have the courtesy to answer the questions they said they would do an interview on. What kind of company is that? What kind of company is that? You see what I'm saying? Guardian Asset Management. They don't want to answer questions. They don't want to answer questions. And HUD, Craig Carnes. How does a company in Texas win an award and hand it off to somebody else? Nobody sees this. None of you see this. Come on. I'm going to find some buddies of mine for the next podcast. You're going to like them. You're really going to like them. You're really, really, really going to like them. But this employee independent contractor nonsense in the industry, ladies and gentlemen, you're employees. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. I don't really care. I have been saying it for a long time. You're an employee, and unless you get to bill, unless you get to write the invoice, cut it out. Give me a break. Give me a break. If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the station. If you can help out, hit us with a donation. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all be safe out there.